unfortunately, I missed the first session yesterday, but I believe somebody was talking about this and said it was proven that if managers spent even 3% of time in the field, then sales were better. So music to my ears, because I really passionately believe that this is something that many organizations miss out on. A lot of companies spend a lot of time on career progression and promoting people internally, and that's fantastic. And I work for Baxter at the moment, and we're great at that. And that's really good. However, the counter to that is sometimes what's the balance of brand new managers versus experienced managers in this challenging environment that we work in? What programs do we have in place to make sure that new managers are successful? A successful salesperson does not necessarily make a good sales manager. However, in a lot of organizations, they tend to get promoted into management because that's the only route that they see. So if your management balance is kind of 60% new managers, you've got a real lack of depth of experience in there to help support these do the job that I personally feel is hugely important to company success. How much time do you devote to that training? And how good are they at coaching? Again, questions. How good are they at having difficult conversations? That's one of the things that, again, I watch quite a lot of the time, and our company does a lot around DISC, which is a behavioural style, and people find it hard to have difficult conversations. They want to keep their sales teams motivated and engaged, so therefore sometimes having difficult conversations is something that gets brushed to the side. So, the role of the sales manager, coaching. Yes, it's about leadership, and yes, it's about management, but in my mind, coaching should be a huge part of that. So why is coaching important? Because sales managers are really the people who are in charge of helping have robust and aligned sales teams. They're the ones who are delivering whatever messaging that is. They're making sure that we're aligned and that message goes out well. They drive optimal people performance. And they're also the ones that can go out and gauge whether our people have the right knowledge and skills, be it product, be it marketplace, be it customer. They're the ones who are at the firefront who can feed that back to us. So we need them to be really sharp and to be really skilled in order to do that and to do that well. You wouldn't put a ship to sea without a captain to sail it. So same theory applies to sales managers. You don't want a team out there with a really strong leader who you can have every confidence is going to drive the activities that you want. But the other thing to remember is, who coaches a sales manager? So while I was thinking about this presentation, I had a look online just to have a look and see what kind of information was out there. And this slide looks really good because most organizations feel that coaching and leadership is a very strong element of a management role. Now that's great. But actually, if you get beneath the surface of that a little bit, what is your organization doing to help that? Now, 22% are doing nothing or other things, with only 4% doing mentoring. There are skills things, and again, I'll come to that just shortly. What business results does your organization link to good coaching? And there's only 31% associate sales with good coaching. Now, I find that quite a scary statistic. 28% do none. They don't link it to anything. And all the others are around engagement and good retention. And again, that's great, but it's only great if we have the right people. Are we retaining people because we don't like to have the difficult conversations? Do people like to work for us because we're not challenging them and they have an easy life? I hope not. But these are questions that we do need to ask ourselves. So coaching. What does good coaching look like? Again, if we were to ask all our sales managers, they would ask different things. How good are our sales managers at going out when they are coaching and allowing the salesperson to do the call without them interrupting? A lot of our managers still think they're super reps and they'll take over the call. That's not coaching. Does it truly impact results? I strongly believe it does. How do we train good coaching? Sales reps have people out giving them advice on how to do calls. Who gives advice to our sales managers? How do we train them? How often do we do that? And then how do you measure progress and success. I'm about to embark on a project which looks into this, so I'm really excited about that. But good coaches motivate, educate, and support their teams. So, you know, how can you observe coaching style in the field without being intrusive? The other thing that we have to think about is we have to train our sales organizations to receive feedback and accept feedback and contribute to feedback. Coaching is not something that you do to someone or gets done to someone. It's something that you do together. And very often, sales managers have these coaching conversations and the salesperson goes, yeah. We used to have a scoring system in place whereby when you were doing a coaching form, it ranged from 1 to 4. When we did some classroom training, you know, we gave them some scenarios to look at and they said, oh, I would only give that person a 2. Guarantee in the field, they would give them a 3 or a 4 because they didn't like to demotivate them. So what's the point? How do you measure progress? And if people don't have honest conversations and can't accept feedback, there's lots of things that we need to consider. We can do role play, but role play in the classroom is very different to what happens in the field. We can do 360 feedback, and you know, one of the models I'm very fond of is situational leadership, and you can actually do 360 feedback with that, because what situational leadership does is helps the managers to understand their own style, but actually, I will guarantee you, if you go and ask their teams whether they think that's their style, most of them won't agree with that. It's a personal view. And how often do we do any of these? And again, if we're doing this to sales managers, who's doing that to the level above them? Because the sales managers too absolutely need coaching. They're in a really difficult role, rock and a hard place sometimes they are. So what impedes your organization's ability to sustain and develop coaching? And it's lack of expertise, changing priorities. We start something, something else comes in. You know, I think all organizations at some point or other have actually said, yeah, we're going to do something in coaching. How many of us have actually stuck to our guns and have a long-standing program, develop existing and substantial programs around that and devote enough money to that? Because if we think about it, they are the captain of the ship. They are the one out at sea on their own, and they need to have the right skills to do that. So to build a coaching culture, it takes time. There's 3 different phases that you can go through. Oh, sorry, I skipped over one there. My apologies for that. But to summarize, for me, another quote, again, not like me, but the real voyage of discovery is not seeking new lands, but it's actually seeing with new eyes. What we don't want to do is go out and just bring lots and lots of new things in. I personally think that we want to take a step back, look at what we've got, look at the environment, and how we can enhance what we have. And for me, the role of training, focusing resources in the right area, and generating a coaching culture. And I say this coaching culture, for me, is more important now than it ever has been, because our customers and the environment in which we are working is becoming more and more challenging. Thank you.